Okay, that tune. That's the sound of the Mambo Kings. Like the Mambo Kings, I love that movie. The movie really touched me. You know, about two brothers who come down to America, just trying to make a living. You know what I'm saying? But then the shit hits down the roof. You know, gambling, drugs, and all that shit. You know, women, lust, you know, and two brothers who end up being one, because the other one died in a car crash. And unfortunately, you know, one brother survived, the other one didn't. And it was pretty sad, you know. And when he was on stage by himself, singing for the first time by himself, and he's recapturing of his brother being there, it kind of touched me, kind of feel that edge on me. The Mambo Kings definitely really inspired me a lot. What really inspired me the most is my days in Puerto Rico. I remember 2007 when I started internet dating, and you know, this is a whole thing for me. I never thought that I was ever gonna meet somebody online. You know, I heard about it, the fuss about that. Oh, you can meet, you know, women online and date. You know, it's much more easier. You know, it's better than going to a club and trying like talk to a girl and shit. It's a bit more, you know, easier and a bit more interrupted with other people out there online. So I decided to give it a try, and I joined this thing called MySpace. Back then was popular, and I signed into MySpace, you know, and I started adding people, you know, and of course the first thing I did is add my friends I know of. And then I started adding random people. And the best thing about MySpace that I like is that you can browse and, you know, you can just type in the zip code and give you all this option, all these people that you want to add, you know, and, you know, not only that, but you can also put what size, what race and all that stuff. It'll give you a bunch of options for you to, you know, make it more easy for you to help you look what you're looking for. And I usually was looking for, you know, big type of girls, you know, because my type of girls are big. I love big girls, you know. And it's one of my turn-ons. I love big girls. So I usually was looking for the big girls, and then I ended up finding this girl from Puerto Rico. I said, oh, she's from Puerto Rico, Carolina, Puerto Rico. So I went and added her and sent her a friend request. And next thing we know, we started talking, we started combining. And about like the next week, she gave me her number, which I was like I ended up buying my finger. I'm like, oh wow, she gave me her number. I was like excited. I'm like, wow. I'm like surprised that she actually gave me her number. So this is like the first thing ever. So, you know, so what I did is I dialed that number, I called, and, you know, I started talking to her. And me and her, we started talking, and, you know, she ended up getting my number by calling, you know, me calling her. So me and her, we started talking, and it was, you know, kind of interesting how we both, you know, end up being in a relationship, you know. Because, you know, I remember one time I was like, you know, back then I was helping my mom in her business, you know, and I was like talking to her, and, you know, and I was like going through some drama, you know, and I was like, you know, expressing my drama was going on, and the next thing you know is she opened her feelings towards me, and the next thing you know it, I told her, listen, you know, I like you, and, you know, I would like to, you know, I want you to be my girlfriend. So we both end up being in a relationship, a long distance relationship. I'm here in New Jersey, she's in Carolina, Puerto Rico, and I was talking to her, you know, and I told her, listen, I want to go down Puerto Rico, you know, I'm ready to do the next step, move down there, I wanted to move down there. I wanted to be with her because I'm the type of person that, you know, when I'm in a relationship, I like to be with that person, and I'm willing to leave everything behind and just to be with that person. See, I was leaving my car. I was leaving the house where I'm at, leaving my family, my friends. I was planning to leave everything, even my dog. Around that time, I had my dog that I had for 15 years. I end up abandoning him, and I end up going to Puerto Rico because I love this girl so much. So I ended up going to Carolina, and when I got to Carolina, oh my God, it was like a dream. My God, it was like how I was, but the first thing, what really got me is when I got to the airport, I was a bit nervous and scared going to Puerto Rico because I don't know if she was going to show up. I'm hearing all these rumors that, you meet people online, they're weirdos, this and that, they might not even show up. I was a bit afraid, but I went there and she was waiting there with me. I remember she was there with her best friend who was gay. She was there with her best friend, this guy who's gay, and I was surprised that she was there, and she hugged me and kissed me, and she's like welcome me with open arms, and she picked me up. She took me to where she was looking for apartments for me. Around that time, she was looking for apartments. So she took me to the apartment. She checked out, and I brought the money that I saved. I saved like $600. Went down there, got me an apartment, and then she showed me around Carolina, and it was special, that Puerto Rico is a very, very beautiful island. I fell in love with the island, not with the paradise thing, but it was heaven. Going somewhere else, because all my life been living in New Jersey, the closest thing that I've been out of New Jersey was in Pennsylvania, or upstate New York, but this was whole different, this is a whole different world, and it was amazing. My times in Puerto Rico, it was bizarre, it was amazing, it was awesome, but the best thing I loved was the good times I had with my girlfriend down there, and the beaches, the waves. Oh my God, I remember there was this rock that you can lay down by the water, and the water used to come by and give it this splash. I used to lay down that rock and let the water splash my body, and it felt just so good. I would give anything to go back there and lay down that rock. That rock was special, it really healed my soul, and I really, it really healed my soul. And I would definitely give anything to go back there and lay in that rock with that water splashing on me. Still there for 2 months. My birthday was coming up now, and me and her talk about where we're gonna spend my birthday. So she was talking about going back to Jersey. She wanted to come back with me to New Jersey. She spent some time with me in New Jersey on my birthday, stay there for 2 weeks, and then she'll go back to Puerto Rico while I'll stay in New Jersey. She told me, and then she told me you can come back to Puerto Rico. Now the reason she told me this because, not to mention, when I had my apartment, I ended up losing it the next day because the landlord was such an asshole. Just because my girl and her best friend came, at night to clean the apartment, and they had the music just a little loud, and the landlord thought we were gonna be a bunch of party animals. So he told us, listen, I'm sorry, he came up with some story, I'm sorry, I got some family coming by, I need the apartment back, so I'll give your deposit back, your rent back, and I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Guy was being a douchebag, and I ended up being homeless for just a little bit, but my girl, she let me stay in her place, and her mom was a sweetheart. Her mom was an angel. Her mom took care of me. God bless her soul, God bless her soul, She really was a close thing to, you know, having a mom, because my mom was far away. My mom was in New Jersey, and I didn't have no mom there, and she was like kind of like a mom to me. So she helped me out, and I ended up staying at her grandma's house the following day after that. And until then, from there I stood in grandma's house, and I was paying a bit cheap rent, $200 instead of paying $300. So I was paying $200, if I'm not mistaken. No, it was 180. I'm sorry, 180. Wasn't too bad. A room, and yeah, I was definitely, having a ball in Puerto Rico. My girl was taking me around the mall. I ended up going to San Juan, Puerto Rico. San Juan, that's a lot of, rich people go there. You see a lot of tourists go down there. Piedras, if I'm not mistaken, Piedras. Beautiful, beautiful part of Puerto Rico. I love it. It was just amazing, man. And the weather, wow, the weather, man, it's amazing. But yeah, after like 2 months after my birthday, the relationship wasn't going too well. We were arguing over ridiculous stuff, and we ended up breaking up, which it was sadly, But there's a purpose with why things work, because after I broke up with her, 2 months later, I ended up meeting the person who was kind of my life, who I ended up being in a 4-year relationship. But yeah, I did seen a lot of bizarre things in Puerto Rico, a lot of bizarre things. I remember she introduced me to this guy that was like some type of fucking witch. This guy, supposedly he turns into a woman. He even told me to feel his skin, and like some time, his skin turns very softly. It's some weird shit. I don't know, but it was some weird shit. The guy that she introduced me kind of looked like Walter Mercado in a way, but weird shit, weird. But yeah, I really, do miss that rock, and that water is the thing that really heal my soul, and that's what I need. I need something that help me to heal through all the shit I went through. I need something to really heal me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, those were the days I had in Puerto Rico, and I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna really miss Puerto Rico, and someday I'm gonna go back there. I'm gonna go see that rock in that ocean, see those waves waving on me. Yeah, someday I will.